Hey guys, sorry about the delay. I was having some technical difficulties. What's new? It's go do your own research. Welcome to the live stream. Finally. StreamYard was telling me we've got too much traffic right now, you can't go live, and I kept refreshing. And then it just suddenly was like, you're live. So I was trying to sort something out. Okay, so just to let you know, I'm going to be covering the Luigi Mangione upcoming trial, live when it starts in September. So today there was the last pre-trial hearing, starting at 9 o'clock. And it's already finished, but I'm going to, for the purposes of my content and my continuity, I am going to make this live stream about what happened at that hearing so that we're all up to date before the trial starts. Just give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as per usual, because I've live streamed a SDNY court hearing before on this channel, I was following the tweets of Inner City Press, and he got to the court at 7 a.m. this morning. This man, I don't know if he even sleeps, because he was tweeting like only a few hours before that. But yeah, he got to the court, and so basically there has been an issue about whether press were going to be let into this trial, or the public, I should say, which, given it's a public trial, you would think that would be a given. But apparently it's not really known how, because there's been a lack of transparency. But it seems like the court tried to stop that from happening, and Inner City Press has published a letter that he took to the court by hand and then managed to upload it, stating that there hadn't been a transparent process in deciding how this court was going to be shown to the public via a live video feed. Anyway, it seems like the judge ruled that there will be a live video feed. But yeah, so he was outside the court, and then he started tweeting what was happening inside the court at 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, he presented this letter to a member of staff working for Justice Carrow. Justice Carrow is the judge presiding over this case. So this is the state version of the case, because there were two different people prosecuting him: the Manhattan DA and the federal prosecutors. The Manhattan DA got to go first. So I actually have, I hope this is going to work. I actually have a video, courtesy of this account, of Mark Agnifilo and Karen Agnifilo and Kaplan. They're Luigi Mangione's legal counsel arriving at the court. So I can quickly show that. It's very quick. It's 10 seconds.
How are you? How's your summer going? You doing, Mark? Good. How are you? Good.
Okay, so obviously Mark Agnifilo was one of Diddy's attorneys in his trial, which he seemed to be quite successful at. But anyway, the less said about that, the better right now. So at 9:12 a.m., there is one rep of the defense team in their 2 rows behind the defense table and one press guy from the prosecutor's office. Other than those 2, the front 2 rows are empty. 2 court artists in the jury box. At 9:20, he says, okay, it's done. So this is Matthew Russell Lee, yeah, Inner City Press. I'm sure anyone who's watching is probably familiar with him by now. Okay, it's done. Inner City Press's second letter to Justice Carrow on trial access for press and public has been handed up through Sergeant to court staff. Now put on document cloud here. So there's a link to the letter he wrote. And then he said, waiting on Justice Carrow. So I didn't know whether that meant waiting on Justice Carrow or waiting on Justice Carrow, but I think it was the latter, waiting on Justice Carrow to respond. At 9:26 a.m., Prosecutor Joel Seidman has come in and set up at the front table. Now 3 in the defense front row, but not yet Karen Friedman Agnifilo et al. So obviously that video must have been around the same time he was typing this out. Sound of pile driver wafts in through the window from the Chinatown jail construction site next door. I love how he sets the scene with the noise of the construction site. So they're obviously building a new jail because the old one that Jeffrey Epstein was housed in and took his own life in was ruled unfit for purpose. So instead of fixing it or maintaining it, they're just building a new one. 9:31 a.m., Karen Friedman Agnifilo. I think it's Agnifilo and not Agnifilo. Mark Agnifilo and Jacob Kaplan, that's it. I don't know why I was thinking Anthony, have arrived. Kaplan wipes the back of his neck with a handkerchief. It's hot in here, no question. Mark Agnifilo goes over and shakes hands with one of the back row prosecutors. So Karen Agnifilo used to work for the DA. So she is very familiar with how they work. I was going to say as well as like Matthew Russell Lee is very hard on freedom of speech and the Constitution. That's why he submitted that letter earlier. I was thinking that some of the content creators that bang on about it want to take a lesson from his book. It's all about transparency. 9:36 a.m. 4 law enforcement shields prominently displayed, so by that he means their badges, are led in and jam into the front row on the prosecutor's side. The 3 defense lawyers have gone into the holding cell to talk with Luigi Mangione. So then at 9:44 a.m., well, it took a while, but the sergeant just handed a piece of paper, Inner City Press's letter on overflow. with video question mark. So yeah, as I said, he was saying it was unconstitutional for the trial to be not live streamed into the overflow room. I think they were saying also that there shouldn't be an overflow room. So they were basically restricting public access and saying that only invited press were going to be allowed in at one point until he submitted this letter and followed the correct legal process by which America was built on. So, to Justice Carro's Clark. The three photographers have been summoned up to the front. Luigi Mangione comes in and sits. Click, click. Luigi Mangione is wearing a suit jacket as SDNY Judge Garnett okayed. Yeah, so they had to put in a request, a legal request for him to be able to wear civilian clothes. So the prosecution side have been trying all these little tricks. And it's like, if you have such a strong case against this guy, why can you not just follow the law, the legal system that you are in charge of? Yeah, they tried to make it very difficult for him to be able to wear a suit. He is leaning back between Mark Agnifilo and Jacob Kaplan. Karen Friedman Agnifilo is on the left of the defense table, ready to address Justice Carro when he comes in. He's reading, one hopes, a large and generally. So he's saying he's reading his letter. He's making a really big deal about this thing at this point. A large and generally friendly court security officer comes and asks if the attorney, presumably Davis Wright Tremaine, is here. No. So there will be no oral rebuttal to the prosecutor's letter yesterday that there should be no video in any overflow. Here was the conclusion of ADA Seidman's letter to Justice Carro yesterday. No explanation of why there was an overflow courtroom with video in their Trump trial, but they are arguing to Justice Carro against it here. So this is a little snippet of what was uploaded by the court. And it said a possible overflow courtroom. Do not specify whether that courtroom would include a video feed in addition to an audio feed. We recommend that it include only an audio feed so as to minimize the potential for witness intimidation and harassment. You know, I was thinking earlier, like, what's really nice about this trial so far is there doesn't seem to be any troll farms following. Mainly the people that are following are genuinely interested to know what happened. 9:55 a.m. The OCA rep has gone into the back. Outside, he said, the press, quote unquote, has agreed to all this. Then he said, it is all in evolution. But as Inner City Press's letter to Justice Carro concludes, the trial has not yet begun. There is still time to get this right. At 9:58 a.m. All rise. Justice Carro, the court has secured an overflow courtroom. The DA has not played a role in it. That is untrue. This court has worked to ensure transparency. I don't want to hear more about this, Mr. Seidelman. This is not the first rodeo. I love that. I love that saying. Justice Caro, even in the overflow, no phones can be out. Seems to mean there will be video in the overflow courtroom. For jury selection, there will be a pool since we can't fit. So it's funny because if anyone was following or watched the depositions on the Epstein, I don't want to say case because it's not a case, but they had an oversight committee deposition live stream where they were told that any recording or any imagery taken inside the court and posted outside the court while it was going on was strictly prohibited. And it turned out that I think it was a Republican senator that broke that rule. It was when Hillary Clinton was testifying. Justice Caro, even in the overflow, no phones can be out. Seems to mean there will be video in the overflow courtroom. For jury selection, there will be a pool since we can't fit. In brackets, how will this work? Video to overflow with no showing of jurors' faces? Question mark. Justice Caro. It's going to be an anonymous jury. I have each party's questionnaire. I just received the defenses. Get together, come up with questions we agree with, you disagree with, and I'll make a decision, but soon. ADA Sideman. We want red line version. Sideman. Justice Caro, there is a protective order. Karen Friedman Agnifilo. As long as paralegals can view, Justice Caro seems to nod, says, approach please, lawyers go up for whispered sidebar. So that was, what time was that? It was around 10. 10 a.m. Whispered sidebar still ongoing. Since there's no jury or even prospective juror here, it is unclear why this is being whispered or on what basis. 10:13 a.m. Jacob Kaplan leaves the sidebar to confer with Luigi Mangione, then hands a sheaf of papers back to the defense team in the front row of the gallery. 10:17 a.m. Sidebar ends. Justice Caro. We discussed jury selection. We will adjourn until September 8th. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Okay? So that was the end of the hearing after all that. It was super short, and I've not seen any images of Luigi yet to show anyone. I suppose I could, let me just check this one guy's Twitter feed because he says he's not a fan, but he definitely seems like it to me because he was tweeting about it as well. His account name is Fair Trial for Luigi. He says, my words are just my own opinions on topics, not impersonating, not affiliated, not fan account. He said that Luigi is in a grey suit, cuffed at the hands. Yeah, I don't see any pictures or anything. He does have, where did I see it? I'm pretty sure I saw it on there. He does have a link to the GoFundMe for Luigi. And he also has a video pinned. Oh, we do have pictures. I knew it. He has a video pinned to his profile, which is him saying to Karen Agnifilo in December 2025, please tell Luigi I traveled for the first time ever by myself here, and because of him, I'm facing my fears because he's that inspiring. But he's not a fan. Yeah, so I'll quickly show you. These are some pictures that were taken, I guess, by the official photographers. Sorry, this is really slow for loading this one. This is a good picture. That is a really good picture. See if he's put anything else up there. Oh, okay. This one, he said, still smiling after everything. So he's got a link to the Give, Send, Go for Defense Fund. And it has raised $1,556,880 US. Fundraiser created by December 4th Legal Committee. Fundraiser funds will be received by Tom Dickey Law Offices, PC. Tom Dickey was the lawyer that became his legal counsel in Altoona, Pennsylvania, when he was arrested. Luigi Mangione, official legal fund for all three cases. Luigi and his team are accepting the funds, which will be dispersed to Luigi's attorneys, who will be handling the extensive expenses associated with the legal defense for three separate, unprecedented, pending criminal cases. Luigi and his legal team have officially accepted the funds, and while Tom Dickey is Luigi's attorney in one of the cases, Karen Friedman Agnifilo is representing Luigi, and the funds will be used across all three cases. This fund is irrefutable evidence of the public support for Luigi and their consciousness that he is being treated in an unprecedented and unfair fashion by a state acting out of cowardice and fear to make a spectacle of his case in an attempt to intimidate us all into submission to state and corporate power. We believe in the constitutional right of fair legal representation. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old, he's 28 now, born and raised in Maryland, was taken into custody as a suspect in this case on December 9th. If Luigi chooses to reject any portion of the funds, that portion will instead be donated to legal funds for other US political prisoners facing politicized charges. I'm not sure if this fund is. Oh, look, most recent, 4 minutes ago. Wow. 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago. Yeah, it's definitely still accepting donations. So I was reading some stuff on Reddit. That was, I don't know, because I don't trust anything on Reddit, and also it's a comment as well. There's a subreddit called Mangione Trial or something. But there was people saying on there speculating that Karen Agnifilos, it doesn't want nothing to do with the people that started this fundraiser, December 4th Legal Committee. So yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but it looks like that GoFundMe Give Send Go is still going strong. All right, let me just check if there was any other updates on that guy's feed. I will say when Luigi was first arrested, because I have been following this case since the shooting happened, since the search, since they were doing the manhunt. Thomas Dickey, when he was interviewed, he said he hasn't been presented any evidence for the charges yet. And when he was asked about people were already trying to send in donations then, he said he wasn't sure if he was prepared to accept them. You see how that is the opposite of how a lot of YouTube legal channels operate? It seems like he did end up accepting them. But the interviewer asked him, why do you think people are donating? And he said it was because they were exerting their right to free speech. So he's also got videos of the attorneys leaving. He said Jacob Kaplan walked back and seemingly updated Luigi Mangione briefly and headed back up to the front. 10:13 a.m. Oh no, we saw that. KFA nodding, they leave bench. We had a discussion about jury selection as well as some outstanding motions that have to be filed and decided before the 8th, preferably Caro. At this point, we will adjourn until September 8th for jury selection. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Luigi Mangione stands up, walks out of court. Okay, so that's them walking through the courtroom. I think stuff like that is really cringe. And then there's this one of them outside. Okay. I think that's about it. I think that's about all there is to say on this hearing. Yeah. Okay. That's it for now. I hope to see you all soon. Take care. Bye.